Have you ever read something that just completely stops you in your tracks? Well, today we're diving into a teaching from speaker Daniel Lamptey that does exactly that. It takes one of the most puzzling promises in the Bible and turns our whole idea of power and miracles completely upside down. So, let's jump right in.
Okay, so it all kicks off with this wild promise from Jesus in the book of John. He's not just saying his followers will do the same stuff he did, he says they'll do even greater works. And right away, that just raises a massive flashing question mark, doesn't it?
Exactly. I mean, think about the things he did. We're talking about healing blind people, walking on water, even bringing people back from the dead. What could possibly be greater than that? It feels like a total paradox. And to solve it, Daniel Lamptey says we have to start by understanding where the power comes from in the first place.
To even get close to an answer, Daniel Lamptey explains that you can't understand the works until you understand the source of the power. And he boils that source down to one core idea, a state of what he calls oneness with God.
Now, the way Daniel Lamptey explains this is, honestly, it's brilliant. It's not just about being near God or having a good relationship, it's a complete fusion. Imagine, he says, you drop a spoonful of salt into a glass of water. After a minute, you can't separate them, right? The water isn't just water anymore, and the salt isn't just salt. They've become something totally new, salt water. That, he argues, is the kind of inseparable union he's talking about.
And this is where Daniel Lamptey really draws a line in the sand. He argues that this oneness is a relationship, not some kind of transactional contract or covenant that's full of rules and do's and don'ts. He sees it more like a family reconciliation. It's based purely on love, where what belongs to God now belongs to us simply because we're family, because we are one.
So here's the bottom line. This oneness is the engine behind absolutely everything. According to Daniel Lamptey, Jesus himself said this is how he operated. It wasn't his own power, it was the Father working through him. And the teaching is that this exact same principle is available to us. It's not our power we're using, it's his power flowing through us because of that union.
All right, so we've got that foundational idea of oneness as the power source. Now let's circle back to our big mystery and see how this all connects to what those greater works actually are.
With that idea of oneness in our back pocket, we can finally tackle the big question head-on. What in the world are these greater works? You know, when we hear that phrase, our minds immediately go to things like this, right? We think bigger, better, more spectacular physical feats, like maybe healing a whole stadium of people at once, or raising an entire cemetery, or building these massive world-famous cathedrals.
But here's the twist. According to Daniel Lamptey's teaching, it's none of them, not even close. He says we've been looking in completely the wrong dimension.
And here it is, the big reveal. Lamptey defines the greater work not as a physical miracle, but as a spiritual one. It's the act of bringing a spiritually dead soul back to life. It's reconciling a person back to God.
And when you hear the logic, it clicks. Any physical miracle, no matter how incredible, is temporary. The person who's healed will eventually get sick again. The person raised from the dead, well, they're still going to die again someday. But a soul that is spiritually resurrected, that transformation is eternal. That work lasts forever. Okay, I get it. That might sound a little out there, a little abstract. So let's bring it right down to earth with this incredible story from Daniel Lamptey's own life that shows this principle in action. And it looks nothing like what you'd expect.
The setting isn't a grand stage or a beautiful church. No, it's a washroom and an internet cafe. And Lamptey says it was so filthy, the inside of the white toilet bowl had literally turned black from neglect. It was disgusting. And working in this place was a young man who, for whatever reason, just despised Lamptey. He describes the man's feeling for him as a perfect hatred, just this raw, obvious contempt for everyone to see.
So one day, what does Lamptey do? Does he confront him? Return the hatred? Nope. He does something no one would ever expect. He goes into that filthy washroom and, with his bare hands, spends the next 4 to 5 hours scrubbing that disgusting toilet until it was sparkling clean. You can just imagine the young man's face, right? He walks in, sees what Lamptey has done, and he is just floored. He's in total shock. His first question is simply, "But who are you?" He just couldn't process why anyone would do that. And in that moment, as Lamptey says, love just completely dismantled the hatred.
And that is the crucial link. That simple act of cleaning a toilet didn't heal a physical body, but it broke through years of pride and hatred in a way that some spectacular miracle never could have.
It was the beginning of a spiritual resurrection. And that, by Lampley's definition, is a truly greater work.
So this brings this whole massive concept right back to us. If a greater work can be something as humble and hidden as cleaning a toilet, what does that mean for you and me, right here, right now?
Dino Lamptoli suggests that these greater works are often these quiet, unseen spiritual acts. It might be praying for someone you don't even know. It's definitely choosing to respond with love when all you're getting is hate. It's sacrificing your own comfort, maybe giving up sleep, to help someone else. These are the kinds of acts that have an impact on the soul, the eternal part of a person.
So this leaves us with a final, really provocative thought. It completely reframes our idea of making an impact. It suggests that maybe our greatest legacy isn't in the big things we build for the world to see, but in the small, often hidden acts of love that have the power to change a soul for eternity. What small act of love could be your greater work today?